What's up, sports fans? Welcome to V Sports Insider. So today we talk about a potential fight between Demetrius Andrade and Billy Joe Saunders. So stay tuned. So it looks like Demetrius Andrade and Billy Joe Saunders are on the collision course for early 2021, with the winner possibly getting the Canelo Alvarez fight in May. We're going to talk about this fight. We're going to talk about the long history of bad blood these two fighters have, and it's finally time to see them inside the ring. And whoever comes out victorious will emerge as the prime candidate for a fight against Canelo Alvarez on Cinco de Mayo, a major fight that's going to take place in May. It would be Canelo's second fight of the year because he's supposed to fight his mandatory Avni Yildirim in February, and it's probably going to take place in Guadalajara, Mexico. So it looks like a very busy year, a very active year for Canelo Alvarez, who had previously stated that his plan is to unify the division, to win all of the 4 belts, and he's already got 2 after defeating Callum Smith. He's got the WBA and WBC. Obviously Billy Joe Saunders currently holds the WBO, and Caleb Plant holds the IBF. And you know, if you look at it, both of these names, Billy Joe Saunders and Andrade, are arguably already bigger names and more established in the world of boxing than Caleb Plant. BJ Saunders, he's a 2-weight world champion, undefeated, WBO middleweight and WBO super middleweight champion. Andrade is also a 2-weight world champion, also the WBO at light middleweight and middleweight. So both of these guys are way more accomplished despite the resume, but even if you look at the resume as well, they have better resume than Caleb Plant, and they're both way more established than Caleb Plant. So it only makes sense for Canelo Alvarez to fight either one of these guys before he does Caleb Plant, and then eventually go for the IBF by the end of the year. And if you look at this matchup, this is going to be a 50-50 fight. I mean, both of these guys are highly skilled. Both of these guys are highly intelligent inside the ring, and this would be a significant fight by itself regardless of the potential Canelo shot or not. So the winner of this fight is going to have a legitimate claim to be rated on the pound-for-pound list. If you look at Demetrius Andrade, everybody knows he's got skills, everybody knows he's talented. The only thing that he doesn't have is the names, the opponents. He was the champion at light middleweight. He didn't secure the fight against the best guys in the division because they didn't want it. Speaking of the Charlo brothers, and similar thing at middleweight. He kept calling out, aggressively kept calling out all the other champions at the weight, but ultimately nobody was too excited to fight him. So as a result of that, Demetrius Andrade doesn't have the best resume, but Billy Joe Saunders, an undefeated prime Billy Joe Saunders, would be a great victory and would definitely be something that puts him on the pound-for-pound list. And as for Billy Joe, he spent a good chunk of his career just waiting for the bigger names, waiting for those big fights to come his way, and it doesn't really work like that. He was waiting on Canelo, hoping to get selected for a few fights now, and it never materialized because Canelo always had a bigger fish to fry, and now he's finally in a position where he is a potential opponent for Canelo Alvarez, and he's a guy that Canelo Alvarez has to go through in order to achieve his goal, which is to become the undisputed champion at super middleweight. And the last thing Billy Joe wants in this current scenario is to have Canelo eventually select somebody else once again. So there's no better thing to do than to fight Demetrius Andrade early this year, to cement yourself as the prime opponent for Canelo Alvarez, putting yourself on the pound-for-pound list in the process, and then have a career-defining fight on Cinco de Mayo. So like we concluded, this is a great fight to be made. This is the right fight to be made at the right time. It's highly important for the super middleweight division. It's going to put the winner on the pound for pound list, and it's going to secure the Canelo payday, the Canelo fight, the career defining fight against Canelo Alvarez for whoever comes out victorious here between Demetrius Andrade and BJ Saunders. So tell us what you think about this situation. Tell us who you think is gonna win, Demetrius Andrade or BJ Saunders. And with that, we're out. That was a report by V Sports Insider.